Hey, Kevin, you heard it. You heard what we need.
Heard it
You know
right
what we
here.
need, right? What
Cut
we
the
need.
check.
Cut the check, Tay Day. Just put Tay Day on there. That's all you need to put
Hey,
it on.
payday. Get that payday. Let's go.
You know what I mean? Tay Day, get that payday.
Okay.
What up, y'all? This is Anton, along with my co-host Taylor Day, and we are simply marvelous. And you clicked on the video, so you already know we are here to react to, not react, but review Spider-Man No Way Home. If you haven't seen it, first of all, why'd you click on the video? And second of all, what are you doing with your life if you haven't
Get y'all's
seen
tails to the theater. What y'all
this?
waiting on?
Bro, I'm telling you.
Spoilers are out by now.
Big facts. Spoiler alert, because it's going down on this video. Before we do that, how you been doing?
I have been doing excellent.
Uh-huh.
I mean, really, ever since seeing Spider-Man, I was like, that really was really fun. I'm not going to say anything too much before we start, but I
Uh-huh.
will say that I kind of wish my theater was a little bit more hype.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they were
Right.
doing like the plane landing applause rather than
Mhm.
like tearing up the building.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's almost 2022. We survived 2021, so I can't complain too much. You know what I
Right?
mean? All right. Well, you ready to get down to it?
Let's
All
go.
right, for sure. All right. Quick reactions. How did you feel about the movie without going into great detail as of now?
I absolutely loved it.
Hmm.
Without going into great, I loved it. I want to see it again, and I want to see it a third, a fourth, and a fifth time.
Yeah.
I feel like it really made me appreciate all of its predecessors. Um,
Yeah.
and I have some questions about some of like the multiverse things, which we'll get into, like the appearance of Venom, but we'll get into that.
Mm,
And I kind of wish, like, I know there's some rumblings on Twitter, and I agree with the people. I kind of want to see an Amazing Spider-Man 3 now.
is it 3 or 4?
Three,
Amazing
because
Spider-Man. That's Garfield.
yes,
Yeah.
because Andrew didn't get a third film,
Yeah.
and I
Big
kind of
facts.
want him to get a third film now, because I was like, oh snap, oh wait, he
Hmm.
was actually an excellent Spider-Man. I didn't appreciate it then. I did not
Right.
appreciate it
Right.
then.
Right.
Now looking back, I'm like, oh wait, no,
Yeah. Is it-
he
is
was
the-
great.
He's the perfect case of putting good ingredients into a bad meal. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Straight up,
He put raisins
like
in the potato salad. That's what they did. That's
like
what-
all them back issues they were talking about is because he was carrying Sony at the time, and they were letting my man down left and right. Like,
Right.
whoa.
Big
Anyway,
facts.
goodness.
Oh man. Well, on my behalf, I echo everything you said. I actually found a greater appreciation of Spider-Man myself. He's never been my favorite character.
Mm.
I like Spider-Man, but he's just never been my guy. But something about this movie was like, yo, Spider-Man is that guy. And they explored every emotion of Spider-Man, from the,
Yeah.
the, the joking to damn near about to kill somebody. Like, I like the full range of all the Spider-Man. Then you add the legendary Spider-Man, Toby and Garfield, and they were hilarious. And then, it was beautiful. And you was talking about that round of applause. You wish you had that. We got that when they showed up. Like when them two showed up on the screen,
Yes!
it was like, whoa! I was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, okay, there y'all go.
I got a story about that when we get to it, but we'll wait.
But yeah, overall, the movie was just great. The villains were awesome.
Yes.
The prospects of Spider-Man moving into the future, I'm dying to know what they're going to do with this guy. It's not also good, possibly for the MCU fans. pure MCU. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're going to do with my man, but Spider-Man No Way Home is a top 5 MCU movie right out the
Yeah.
gate. But anyways, all right. Since we got that out the way, let's get to, some of our favorite moments, characters or however you want to do it.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna try to go as chronologically as I can remember,
yeah.
because if I jump here and there, then I definitely want to forget something. But
Mm.
I'll say one of my first favorite moments was seeing Daredevil. What?
Woo!
Wasn't that
Woo!
amazing? And when he caught that brick,
This
and he was like, "How'd you do that?" He's like, "I'm a
is
really
a
good
good
lawyer."
lawyer. You know what I mean? You ain't lying. You ain't
It
lying.
was too dope. It was
Yeah.
just dope.
Yeah. That's a beautiful moment right there.
Mhm.
For all the folks who
Charlie
have
Cox.
watched Daredevil, they know that Charlie Cox killed that role. Like that's one of
Mhm.
the best. I can't say MCU properties, but Marvel properties. Period. Daredevil is up there. So Charlie Cox, man, he murdered that. So if they would have did a recast or anything on him,
Oh,
I think that
no.
it would have sent all the
Yeah.
Marvel fans in an uproar. So seeing him was beautiful, and they just gave us a little titty
A
taste,
taste.
just a tasty taste of him.
Tip of the tongue
You
taste.
know what I mean? So, but I can't wait to see what happens moving forward. I just seen somebody say he was going to appear in something else. What possibly? What was it? Was it She-Hulk? Yeah, I think it
Uh,
was She-Hulk, possibly.
that would make the most sense
Yeah, it
because
makes
she's a
sense.
lawyer.
Right. But will we just see Matt Murdock or will we see Daredevil? That's the real question we want to
That's the
know.
best question.
Right. You know what I
Give
mean? But
my man Charlie some work.
yeah.
Kevin already knows though. Kevin has already said it. He's
Yeah.
like Charlie Cox will always be Daredevil. Blah, blah, blah,
Uh-huh.
blah.
Big facts.
So
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
I love seeing him in that.
You got anything else? I'm
I'm trying to
I'm trying
think
to think.
now.
Right.
I said let me go
And I
chronologically, but
know.
I'm like, how did that work? Okay,
Oh, I'll tell
so
you. Go ahead.
no. You go, you go.
Well, a dope moment for me was Wong, um,
It's a
claiming
Sorcerer
the
Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme
I
title.
was literally just about to
I was
say
like,
that.
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
And they're boosting up Wong a lot more. You see him appearing in more things. He's a staple of the MCU now, and I love it. And
Love
he's
it.
a dope character in general. He seems to be the level-headed guy that Strange
Mhm.
needs the most, and
Mhm.
he could be even the more powerful one if he maybe even tried to be, I guess you can say. But
Yeah,
he's by Strange's side. He gives the best wisdom to him, even though
he
Strange don't
does.
never listen to her brother. He
Never
just
listen.
don't listen to her brother at all. But if he did, the whole multiverse might still be intact. But anyways,
Mm.
you got anything else?
I was going to mention wrong, so now on to the next
No.
thing. Something real quick that I'll say,
uh,
that kind of it's not really a moment, it's based on characters, but I will say, like in the beginning of the movie and then throughout the movie, I really appreciated and liked the dynamic between MJ and Peter a lot more than I have in past movies. I think she came off
yeah.
a little bit too dry in past movies, whereas in this one, she just was herself as well as still being like I guess more relatable. I don't know. It was like before I was like, I don't understand what he sees in her. Now I'm like, I do like they're cute. They're cute. There's a softness and playfulness there that wasn't necessarily there in the previous movies. So
Okay. So aren't they in a real relationship in real
yeah,
life?
they are.
So that's why.
Yeah.
That's why. I'm pretty sure in those first two movies they
But
were
this
not.
is the thing. I think they were in at least the second
And
one.
maybe the
I think
second
they
one.
were in this at least in the second one because they've
Maybe.
been like running around together for a while. We just haven't known about it.
Eh. Well,
Hmm.
you can tell they're in a real relationship. And then they allowed her to actually, yeah, like you said, not be dry. Just you could tell she felt something for him for sure. Like it was just
Hmm.
outwardly on her sleeve with it. So that's why she was probably a little more relatable, not
Yeah.
just the Debbie Downer of the group. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to think what else.
Okay, so
I was,
go ahead.
now I was just gonna go ahead and jump into Willem Dafoe. I mean,
okay, before
this
we
guy. Go
villain
ahead.
thing,
Yeah.
real quick, like the battle between Steven and Peter, and like that was
Yeah,
dope.
that was
It was
dope.
dope effect.
Yeah,
Had to say that real quick.
that was
Okay,
fine.
now villains are coming out.
Well, I'll piggyback on that what you just said though. How Peter defeat Doctor Strange by using math?
Bruh! It was like simple geometry. And I'm like, I took geometry twice. Like it still don't make sense to me.
This man did an equation off the top of the head and defeated Doctor Strange. Like, what the heck is this, man?
It didn't.
This boy is smart. This boy is genius, straight up.
Smart.
Oh man, but what else? I'm trying to think.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so the villains are coming in. I will say, like, just off the top, Green Goblin is the greatest Spider-Man villain of all time. I don't care what y'all got to say about Kingpin. I don't care what y'all got to say about Kingpin. It's all about Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Willem
In the movies,
Dafoe.
for sure. In the movies, for sure, Willem Dafoe, his Green Goblin is definitely supreme to all the other villains that's been shown. I can't testify as the comic books. I know Kingpin is a big one. He was the first one that I would pair with Spider-Man, but
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe, that dude is a nut.
And the thing is,
how to turn it on.
the sweetest man ever.
Yeah.
I heard he's the sweetest man. He said, "I'm only coming back if y'all let me do the stunts." Like,
Yeah.
like
That's
do
dope,
the stunts. And what was cracking me up was on the internet, again, Twitter. People kept saying like, "Yeah, like Willem Dafoe instead of Willem Dafoe." I was like,
y'all crazy.
He's like, "Yeah, Willem Dafoe over here." I was like, dang, I was just unmatched. The internet is unmatched.
The Goblin is lightweight, terrifying. Just how he goes into that, like I don't even remember the first movies all that well. I obviously seen them multiple times, but it just didn't ring a bell until I heard him go into that character. They're like, oh, that's just terrifying right there. So
you
have
to go back and watch
I will.
You have to go back and watch the other movies now because I watched the first one again the other day, and it's brand new appreciation, and it's also interesting, like looking back because like the original Spider-Man was untouchable. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, nothing's gonna top that. Y'all just keep remaking it, but nothing's gonna top the first one. And if you go back and watch it, you're like, wow. And I don't know, I can appreciate all of them for being their own individual Spider-Man.
Right. I would like to see the special effects and all that stuff. That's the type of stuff I like seeing.
Bruh, it looks awful.
It's bad.
Awful. And I know when it came out, it was the most amazing thing ever. But it looks like Batman and Robin. You know what I mean? Like it's bad.
Is that bad?
Bad. But it's still enjoyable. But it's bad.
I can't wait to go back and look at it though. But that's funny.
It's good. I love it.
So what do you think about Jamie Foxx's Electro as far as how they changed it from the Amazing Spider-Man being the blue face guy and to the new regular looking guy with just dope powers?
I think they had a lot of cleaning up to do from the mess that was those two movies. So it's one of those things that I'm going to let slide because again, y'all had him looking mad ridiculous, like in that movie. So I'm happy they let Jamie just be Jamie as the villain because the thing is he was never going to top the main two, which is Green Goblin and Doc Ock. Like you are like so at least he could add a little bit more humor and have his own swag. But if we're talking about the metaphysics of time travel or not time travel, but the multi-universe, it doesn't make sense that he would be changed that much. Nobody else was changed that much crossing over except for him. That didn't make any kind of sense. But again, it was a mess before, and this was like less distracting now. So I'll let it slide, but it didn't make any kind of sense.
See, I'm one of those people. I never had a really a problem with his look in that movie because I didn't read comic books. I remember seeing his like a cover or two with the crazy electric helmet on, you know what I mean? The yellow helmet. So I never really had a huge issue, necessarily with how he looked. But it's funny when I look at him now. Like, man, that's Jamie Foxx, though. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's all it. He didn't change his voice or nothing.
Jamie.
It's just Jamie.
No,
That's
he
all
just
it is.
showed up and was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna be cool and black this
I know.
time, and that'll be enough."
Like, man,
And I'm like, Jamie, I love you to death, but we ain't never getting Ray again, are we?
no.
He
That's
did
big time.
capital A acting, got his Oscar, and was like, "I'm good.
I'm through. I'm cool now.
I'm good." Again, talented man, just
Very.
unbelievably talented man, but not necessarily a capital A actor any longer. Okay, that's gonna come back and bite me in the butt. Watch.
All right. He did fine. It's just, if you've seen Jamie Foxx a lot, you know how Jamie Foxx is, how his mannerism, just everything. It was just Jamie Foxx who had
down to the man. I thought you'd be black.
I know, right? Shout out to that reference though, Miles Morales.
Of course, but it was just like, it was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but also just Jamie Foxx giving that wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think the other villains. Doc Ock. I knew somebody. I knew somebody on that team was going to be on the good side eventually.
Yeah,
I thought actually the whole team was going to be on there. That's what I was going, trying to get them back to the top originally. But
I'll say that
my headphone came out. Good Lord,
all good.
Anyways, but yeah, that's what I originally thought. But seeing the movie, it confirmed my suspicions a little bit. Somebody on that team had to help us out a little bit. And Doc Ock was awesome in there. Yeah. He was really awesome. It was weird. The anti-aging technology they do, though. Golly. He was like, dang, I wish I looked like that for real. Because his skin was all smooth and everything.
And it wasn't even noticeable for me. Like, I didn't even
wasn't.
I didn't even think about it until after. We'd be like, yeah, using de-aging technology. I was like, oh yeah. But I will say, okay, so when I'm not watching New Rock Stars, I am listening to other commentators on online and on TikTok. So one creator, I guess, that I follow on TikTok is Straw Hat Goofy. He's a black guy from Compton who is like blowing up right now with like commenting on like movies in general and a lot of Marvel content. This man is so accurate with all of his predictions for these movies. He predicted Doc Ock being good and being on Peter's side. He predicted, he's predicting everything. He predicted the conversation about, remember what Uncle Ben said? Predicted all these things. And I'm like, dang! Right. So I kind of went in thinking that, so Doc Ock's going to be the good guy. Okay. And he was. So, but it was still dope to see. It was still dope to see him get the nanotechnology, and then all of a sudden he can't control, and then his tentacles or whatever, and then making fun of his name.
That's
all very interesting. They're like, wait, what's your real name?
Right.
Anyway, that was just funny.
I'm trying to think what else. I guess I was about to say we glanced over my man Ned though. My man Ned actually had a real part in this thing. He wasn't just the guy in the chair though.
We were getting to it. Real quick before we get to that part though, let me just say, as soon as Norman was sitting at the table with Aunt May and she was like, he's lost, I was like, she's dead.
That's cool. Yeah,
she's dead.
He had to get his moment though. Everybody lost Uncle Ben's. So Aunt May going in this movie was, I didn't want it, but it was fitting.
It was gonna happen. Yeah. Okay, I just want to say the part because of when they were sitting at the table. But yeah, her death came much later in the movie. But yeah, okay, so back to Ned. How are they going?
I don't know. They putting too many subtle hints in there. He had the cape on at one point. He definitely had a
Yeah.
sling ring. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Ned. It's kind of weird. If Spider-Man is gone, then what is Ned gonna do?
Well, it's not even that. Well, he's unaware of Spider-Man
Yeah,
now,
unaware. He's not gone.
but because Ned is like an amalgamation of several different characters.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you guys gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Because are you gonna go the Harry Osborn route? Are you gonna do the actual like Ned Leeds route? Are you gonna do the other one he's actually named after, or the other one from
Hobgoblin.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Like
know what they're
what?
gonna do with Ned. I like his character though. He's funny.
Oh
He's
yeah.
one of the more funnier guys. My man lost some weight too. He lost some mad
Mm-hmm.
weight. Shout out to
Yeah.
him. He's trying to get his thin sexy on. I seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's my boy Hilton call himself thin sexy. So.
Thin sexy. Shout out to Hilton. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that guy. Maybe he will become a master of the or apprentice of the what do you call it? The
I
mystical
hope
arts.
so. I hope so. 'Cause I like that better than Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I do too. But
It's just like it's been kind of played,
yeah, yeah.
And it would be nice instead of you guys using that as like dark foreshadowing of like, oh, he said he'd never be like, Spider-Man's enemy, and then he goes be like, haha, what is
Yeah,
he
yeah.
now? Instead of doing that, it's like in
Right.
his heart, he still kind of sticks to that and is like, we'll never he like choose the peaceful route instead of
Mhm.
doing the evil villain route. I wish. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm so surprised that it was like. No, I mean, like I know they talked about him like having magical like capabilities, but
Right.
it was so easy for him to get that that portal
He,
open.
he
I was
had
like,
it though, didn't he? He couldn't close that thing, but he knew how to open it.
he knew how to open one. He sure
Peter,
did.
Peter. He brought us the other two Peters. They gave him.
So this is where my story comes in. Right, I'm sitting there. They're getting the portal open. And I see the Spider-Man in the dark alley, and he
Uh-huh.
turns around, and they're like, "Look, it's Peter!" And I was like, "That's not Peter." And the girl next to me starts screaming, and the boyfriend starts screaming, and then he goes through, takes off his mask, and everybody
Ah,
starts
going
screaming. It was
crazy.
so fun. It was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so good. We'll
Yeah.
never be able to get that high back again.
No, ever. Nope. We won't
Never.
get a reveal like that ever again.
No.
Nah, it won't. Just think about that though. What if those reveals never happened in this movie?
You
Imagine
know,
they would never live it
everyone
down.
everyone would have found out where Kevin lives and camped out in his front lawn saying like, we want to read or something. I don't know. It would have been like Game of Thrones level disappointment.
It would have been very bad. I think
Very bad.
I wish I was one of those people who didn't know that was coming. I wish I
Mhm.
was, because that would just been super special. But it's just knowing Marvel, Marvel
It
coming
just
through for that was special enough though.
it didn't make sense to have all the villains from every
Right,
previous
right,
Spider-Man
right,
movie and not include the
right,
Spider-Man themselves. It
right.
just didn't make sense.
Yep,
It's
yep,
like y'all go through all that effort
right. Yeah,
to
yeah.
not bring them.
Not to bring the real cash cows in here.
Yeah, it's like you're talking about the multiverse, but you're
Right,
not gonna bring the other Spider-Man.
right. Yeah.
What would
Shout
have
out.
been surprising is if they did introduce a Miles Morales, like
Yeah.
that's the only thing that would have been like, oh,
Right.
y'all did it,
Y'all did that. But
And then let him go back, and it's like, oh, we're gonna get his movie later.
right.
That's the only thing that would have given me goosebumps for
Mm,
real.
it's gonna happen though.
Oh, it is.
They're not
Absolutely.
letting that bag go away.
No.
They're gonna super cash in when Miles come into this thing. My
Yeah.
God. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. But anyways, what else? 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 What else?
I'm still gonna talk about how much I love seeing them all together interacting with each other.
It was some great
Because it
moments.
was the most hilarious thing ever.
Let me say, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
It's like, man, I don't know you, man. You got the same costume on. That's about it. I don't know you,
so
man.
funny. It was
Uh,
so funny. You would just
Peter,
watch a whole show of them talking to
right?
each other.
Peter cracking the other Peter's back. He got back.
So funny.
But did somebody? I seen an image. Well, I didn't. Yeah, we've all seen this image of the Peters pointing at each other. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh damn, they really did that though. They did that though. That's funny right there.
Oh, Andrew Garfield was like, "I'm Peter too." Like,
Didn't they call him Peter 3 though?
yeah, I don't know. It was so funny.
They was
but
reassuring him that he was awesome too. Say you're amazing too. You said what you fought. What did it say? Man, I only fought a rhino. You say you fought. What did it say? Golly. Oh man, I don't remember.
I can't
It was
remember.
basically comparing accomplishments. He was like, yeah, I don't really have any cool stuff to say. No, you're amazing. I promise you're amazing. You're so amazing. Like,
So
my
funny.
gosh, it was so meta though.
They were like, "Who's the Avengers?"
I know. Is that a band? It's like, dang. But I did watch that Rockstar video though. And I just watched it. Like I just watched the new Rockstar video before I did this, just so I can refresh
What'd they
myself. But it was like saying something about that, about the Avengers. Like when they first started fighting, they were all fighting. They weren't coordinated. It was like Peter, Tom Holland's Peter was the one that coordinated because he worked with the team before. So it was like, that was an interesting point. I didn't think about that, but yeah, he was the ringleader for that, and them fighting together, that was my God,
so wild.
Crazy. Oh, crazy. All right, let's get to the tear jerking moments though.
Yeah,
I didn't cry, but there was some moments in there. I was like, oh man, I can see him up there. Aunt May dying. That's automatically here.
That was. But she's like,
I'm
just trying to catch my breath. I'm just trying to catch my breath.
Yeah,
I knew like, as soon as he threw that, she was going to be. And they extended it so long. That scene was so long, and I'm like, she's dying. Like, how is his spidey senses not like picking up on her bleeding out right now? Like, she's dying.
I don't get it, but she died slow as hell. She definitely died slow. I don't know what did she die from. I know she got hit with the thing, but it was she got punctured. I'm like, man, she died so slow.
I don't even think she got punctured. I think like her whole like side or something was taken out, and you just wasn't visible to like kind of hide her like passing away. But she was bleeding a lot.
Yeah. Shout out to Adrenaline, because golly, she took a minute. The other moment when Spider Garfield caught MJ, he couldn't hold it.
That was another one that people online were like, hopefully that will happen so he can redeem himself. And I'm like, dang it, y'all just ruining everything.
The internet is the worst, bro.
It's the worst. But it was so good.
It was a good moment.
He's like, are you okay?
You all right?
He's like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you got him!
Nah, he was killing that.
No. I'm like his fan now. I didn't get it like during the Social Network, but I completely get it. I am a fan.
Yeah, he brought himself back into the light, and I'm sure he'll get some more screen time. I don't know how and what fashion they have to, I don't know if they'll do Spider 3. I keep hearing about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4. That's what I keep hearing.
Shut up.
That's what I keep hearing. I have no idea.
What?
That's the one I keep hearing about. So that's the one I'm going to go with that they're going to do if they do any of them.
He doesn't even act anymore.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that was a condition of him coming back. I have no idea. But I mean, it's going to be dope regardless. They can't do it, it can't be bad. I would hope they incorporate maybe Garfield in that, if anything, if they're not going to do anything with Garfield moving forward.
I just want them to give Toby to give Andrew a good Spider-Man film besides this one. Give him his own good Spider-Man film. Toby has at 1 and 2. That's good.
Right.
We're not going to
talk about 3.
But 1 and 2 were good. Tom has about like 18,000 Spider-Man movies that were excellent. Anyway.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I mean, since we talked about it, let's go ahead and just go to the next thing. What's next
We
for
did
our
talk about a lot.
yeah? What's next for our Spider-Man, our Spider-Mans? Um, I guess starting with Tom Holland. So
He has like another 3 Spider-Man movies coming out,
yeah,
right?
that's what I'm hearing. So I even saw a headline today that said they won't be involved in the actual MCU, and I'm not exactly sure what to think about that. Like, first of all, okay, so you know, in credit scene, we get Venom coming into the universe. So how is depicted is show Venom coming into the MCU universe, not vice versa, right? So if it's not MCU related, are we saying they swap places? Did
So
yeah, I don't get what they're trying to do there.
I didn't get what they were trying to do at all with even including him at all because like you thought that like oh so like this is how they're gonna put Tom with Venom in the same universe, but
Hmm.
by the end he disappeared and just left a fraction of himself. And so I'm like, okay, so what universe are we in? Are we about to get another Spider-Man 3 where Peter gets infected with Venom? Because I don't want to see that. I've already seen it. I've already seen
Yeah.
it. I don't want to see it again.
Hmm.
I like the fact that like there's Eddie and Venom, and somehow they're
Right.
gonna interact with like that's I would prefer
Hmm.
that than. But now that you left like a little fragment of him like crawling around in this
Hmm.
universe, like, and
Yeah.
then at the same time, even if you guys were in separate universes, why would you have Venom saying like I know him? Like, couldn't you
So
say like I know 15 of him? Like like
true,
there's
true.
there's different ones of him, and he's one of them. Like I don't know. It just was very confusing to me.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that goes. I know Venom said he has what 80 billion years of wisdom across all multiverses or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever. Um, so that mean I don't know because
it was
I
very
he would
confusing.
know. So in that when they did that, when he said, "Oh, I know that guy," did he have his mask on or was he maskless? I can't remember.
He's maskless.
He was maskless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's even more weirder because he would not know that. He
Exactly.
wouldn't know that Spider-Man. You're right. If he had his mask on, I could see that.
But
Oh,
like they're
I know
trying to say that
Spider-Man.
they're trying to say that he knows him because again he knows like
Oh, the Peter Parker
everything
Peters.
all the Peter Parkers, like,
Yeah.
whether he's aware of it or not, eventually he'll be like, wait, you're familiar. I recognize you.
Mhm.
You're Spider-Man. But like, I don't know. It's just weird. Or was that supposed to be foreshadowing that in one of the future Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, he's going to be infected with Venom. And that's why Venom's like, oh, I know him because I'm actually going to infect him later. And
Hmm.
because is a man-made construct, I know that, like, past,
Yeah.
future, and
Right.
present's the same to
Right.
me.
Yeah.
But again,
I
I
don't.
don't want to see a Tom Holland Venom. Like, I'm not interested in that.
I mean, I don't mind it. I don't want it to go into Venom, like the Venom verse.
Yeah,
I'd rather it
yeah.
be inside the MCU if we're going to do that. Because and my initial thought was, okay, Ned is not going to be Hobgoblin, but he sure could get a piece of that Venom. And if Ned doesn't remember Peter right now, Peter knows Ned still. So that would
Ooh,
be a
that's a
that'd
good
be a
theory.
crazy, reveal if he was to meet Venom and it'd be Ned there.
That's a
And
really
Ned
good
wouldn't know.
theory.
You know what I mean? So I just don't understand where they're going with on the timeline on this. I'm not opposed to
Mm,
Venom at all. Venom is cool. Like the movie, Venom 2 with, Let There Be Carnage. It was all right. It wasn't necessary. That's the thing. The story of the
mhm.
movie, it was nothing about that movie that was necessary. It was just you know what I
It was
mean?
like it was
Spending
just
time.
made for that post-credit scene to show.
Yeah, pretty
And it's
much.
like y'all could have just released that as a
Yeah.
short rather than
I
the whole movie.
They could have. I mean, the movie was cool. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It just
Mm,
wasn't necessary. We're used to movies with implications. That's what it really was.
yeah.
So the end credit was the only implications that we got from that. So the rest of the movie was rendered useless, other than your
Mm,
entertainment for the moment. But
right.
look at us being all spoiled MCU heads out here. Do your movie mean something to
Bruh.
us?
Does it connect to
Does it
anything else
connect?
that I'll have to piece together later? What it doesn't.
You mean it's just a movie for me to enjoy right now? And
There's no connection or
I know.
ties to anything else, but you're going to reference something else as if it is, but it's going to be a total red herring? Huh? It's so ridiculous.
You did that way too well, though. Axting.
That Mr. Fox has put away. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm telling you, if I ever meet this man, like y'all delete this video immediately.
It's gonna get you. Oh man, so Spider-Man. Hopefully, we do keep this guy in the MCU in some form or fashion. He really, I don't even care if he doesn't kind of, you know, I don't know. I guess I want him to interact with all the other characters still, but I don't know. Do we really want to turn him over to Sony? That's what.
No, I don't. Again, we got Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I don't. Right. We know what they will do. Unless Kevin is involved in some shape or form or fashion, they're gonna make it trash. But again, we'll have to just wait and see. I'm pleased with the conclusion of this trilogy. I have two things I want to say about the ending, and then about Spider-Man as a whole, Tom Holland Spider-Man as a whole. The ending, when he decides not to like reach out to Ned and MJ, and that sets him up for like the lonely Spider-Man, like which he'll probably end up joining a newspaper later to make money, quick money, this, that, and the third. I just wonder if they are going to end up, I still think they're going to end up connecting later down the line, because Toby said that like, oh, it took a while, but me and MJ finally figured it out. I felt like that was a clue that like eventually MJ and Peter now will find their way back to each other again. It's just not going to be immediately. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, or if they really are just going to let him go and then bring in Gwen Stacy in the time being, or something crazy. I thought that was also interesting that they said that to Andrew, because I feel like that was like a clue to his Peter saying like, oh, if I go back to my universe, maybe my MJ is waiting for me there, even though I lost Gwen. So I thought that was really interesting. Okay, so another person online had said how originally, I can't even remember who, I'm sorry, I can't even credit them, but it was a TikTok I ran across. And they were saying how they didn't originally like the Tom Holland films, but watching this one makes them realize that like most of the other Spider-Man films had an origin story for Spider-Man in the first 30 minutes of the movie, whereas technically this Spider-Man, we had 3 movies that were his complete origin story. And now the next 3 will be him as Spider-Man, not like Spider-Man just figuring out how to, you know, be Spider-Man and balance his life and also have a huge traumatic thing like defining moment happen in his life. And now this Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man, has had like 2 or 3 major emotional, like traumatic things. He lost Tony, lost Aunt May, lost his parents, lost his friends, lost his own life for a period of 5 years. He's been
going, every movie he goes through it. That's all it is to it. Every movie.
Y'all on that trauma porn. Like, calm down. Give this man a break.
Trauma porn.
Yeah, this whole movie is trauma porn. It's just so much traumatic things happening. Anyway.
That's interesting that you said that we might get an older Peter, like an older version of Tom Holland when he actually does come back, possibly like later down the line. That would be dope to me. We haven't got a real adult Peter yet in no movie, and I'm interested to see a very, very seasoned, hardened, you know what I mean, Spider-Man, to see what he is like, you know, because right now I was thinking about this, like he's raised by Tony, but his heart is Steve's. He's the guy who wants to save every single person. He wanted to fix the villains before he sent them back. You know what I mean? He's really like Steve, but he was raised by Tony. It's the weirdest dynamic, but
it is.
You know what I mean? So as he grows up, who will he liken himself more towards? Would he still keep the
Mm,
heart, or would he be more? I don't say Tony was cold blooded, but he kind of was at certain points. You know what I mean? So I would like to see what.
yeah. I think, yeah, he'll definitely be more hardened now, like moving forward. But
Mhm,
I think no matter what, he is gonna always come because now that he has Aunt May and two whole other Spider-Men in his head ringing
mhm,
around, he's
mhm,
probably always gonna come back to that, like, with great power comes great responsibility
right.
and trying to do the right thing and trying to, like, no matter what happens, be like, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man or whatever.
Mhm,
So, but it would be cool to get Spider-Man, like, have Spider-Man take a turn like Logan, where it's like old man Logan, but
right.
with
Right.
like an old man Peter Parker, just just up
Yeah.
in it. you know?
Yeah, and that reminds me of something that happened in the movie too. That I heard somebody say something about it and brought back to me. But when Andrew Garfield said at a certain point he stopped holding his punches,
Yeah.
does that
He
mean
was
that he
giving
was?
everybody that bit.
Does that mean he was killing folks at a certain point for like a
Somebody did
brief
say
second?
that. Somebody said
Like,
that online. I was like, he was going out killing
yeah, you know what I mean.
niggas.
You know what I'm saying? So
Woo!
that's dark. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to see that in a movie. Not necessarily, just him murderizing people, but at least show that moment he broke. You know what I mean? And you maybe get one body on his hands, and then and clean
That's
himself back up.
that's the post credit scene that we or not post credit scene, but like the maybe,
I know, right?
maybe. But that's like the clip that we should have seen is like each of them like being in their respective like universes before
Hmm.
they got pulled to
Right,
see how they were living their
right.
life
Hmm.
before they got pulled. That would have been interesting. So it would
Hmm.
be like, Peter in a dark alley, like giving someone that biz to the bitter end, and then he
Right.
just gets snatched to Tom's
Mm,
universe. So he just got done not holding his punches, and
I
then he
know,
got
right?
pulled. And then, of course, Toby's just at home with MJ, like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll make spaghetti tonight. And
Right.
then he gets pulled. I don't know. When he told him, he was like, "Are you gonna stay dressed like a youth pastor?" I died laughing.
Yeah, that's
That was
cool. Yeah.
so funny. Oh, he was
Damn,
so
Toby.
funny. Are you
uh,
gonna stay dressed like a youth pastor?
oh, maybe they'll get a what if episode or something. At least get
Oh,
a small depiction.
I
Nah,
wish.
they're not gonna let nobody be a murderous Spider-Man on
I
animated
finally
form.
finished What If too.
Hey, that last episode though,
It
that
was
fight scene
wild.
was woo, man. Oh man, I've watched that final battle like probably 5, 6
Really?
times. Died. It's so dope. If you just really go back and look at it, the shield throwing,
Yeah.
banging him back and forth. I don't know how many Milners there were that were surrounding him and then dropping the zombies on him. Only thing I didn't
It
like
was a
was
lot.
the Scarlet Witch part. I was like, man, come on, it could
Oh
have been.
yeah.
He's just gonna blow the whole thing up. Like, come on, man. But
Mhm.
and Supreme Strange, like
Supreme Strange just
that
doesn't
dude.
learn. Like, why is he about to show up? We'll talk about that later. But like,
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah,
but also, just real quick, edit this out. So does that mean that we'll get the Watcher in Multiverse of Madness?
I mean, I got more what if scenarios than that. What if he's messing up? He broke the globe, and now Killmonger and Ultron are free from that cube that Doctor Strange put him in at the end of.
Dang,
Because
that's
he
something
is saying
crazy.
it got out of hand. That would be dope. Who would play the Watcher? Who would play the Watcher?
It's still gonna be
Would it still
Jeffrey
be? Is
Wright.
it? Oh, your
It's still
dad gonna be
gonna
the
be
Watcher?
him. Yes. He gonna roll up. They're gonna shave the rest of his head because half of it's gone already. And they're gonna just blow it up, superimpose it like they
I
do
was
in
about to
Tim
say
Burton
they
movies,
got
and
to.
he gonna walk on the scene like, I am the Watcher. And it's like, yes, you are. Where were you watching all
I
this
know,
stuff go
right?
down? He's going to get that whole speech again. You're like, we don't
We
intervene, but
don't
I
interfere.
did.
The
Yeah,
Watcher
yeah,
needs his own movie, and
he
just we can
does.
we can get we can get the Peter Parker killing people
I
scenario in there because
I
he
want
saw
his
it.
I want his own movie where he has to deal with the consequences of intervening.
Who
What is that?
who
Yeah,
would
what council does he have to go in
yeah,
front of, and
yeah.
what
Who he
happens
gotta
to
go
him?
see? That'd be
Yeah.
crazy. There's more watchers, I
Mhm.
believe, though.
I
I believe
know. That's why I want to see what happens.
yeah. Hey, Kevin, you heard it. You heard what we need.
Heard it
You know
right
what we
here.
need, right? What
Cut
we
the
need.
check.
Cut the check, Tay Day. Just put Tay Day on there. That's all you need to put
Hey,
it on.
payday. Get that payday.
You know what I mean? Tay Day, get that payday.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
My
Album
name.
coming soon. Tay Day. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that's all we got for this right
I
now.
think we talked about everything.
Great movie. If you haven't seen it, we spoiled everything first and foremost, and then
I sure did.
it's you deserve it because you haven't seen the movie anyways.
If it wasn't for this Omarion variant, I would be in the theater right now watching it again. Okay. But here we are, and my tail's at home because I can't trust none of y'all out here being sick and go theater. Please, okay.
He said that
tell me-
Omarion though.
Everybody's calling it the Omarion
got this
variant.
COVID where
You
my
are
heart
late.
used to be. I got this
You
COVID.
are late. That's what, and that's
I
what
don't be on
Omari's
Twitter.
doing.
I don't
It's
mess with
taking
Twitter.
y'all
That's
out,
funny right there. That Omarion though.
The Omarion variant's taking folks out and singing that song on their grave. Like,
That's cold.
okay, like
I wasn't ready for
come
that
on
right
now.
there.
I'm the internet. I am not original.
Undefeated.
It's undefeated.
That's for sure.
Goodness.
Dang, that's cold right there. But I feel you though.
Listen, that's what they're gonna be singing if y'all don't go get out there and get these vaccines and them boosters. Okay.
So this will probably be on Disney Plus in what you say, end of February, early March.
Probably, yeah.
I think they said Eternals will be there January 15th.
Honestly, yeah. I think it was January 11th.
It could be. You could.
But I will say, if people continue to go see this movie in theaters, I'm sure it will push out the release date on Disney Plus.
Big facts.
Because they're going to just try to continue to collect as much cash as possible because the theaters are so iffy right now anyway. Right. And this has already made $1 billion worldwide. So like,
that's how good this movie is, y'all. People still going out to see it multiple times. You don't get to $1 billion without multiple times. You know what I mean? So everybody and their mama and them have seen this movie. So if you haven't seen it, I mean, you just trying to be different. That's all you trying to do. You trying to be different.
You must have talked to Scorsese and got something against Marvel. And I'm gonna need you to calm down, take a chill pill, and go see the movie. Then come talk to me because I've known people who don't even watch Marvel movies who have went to go see it. Not like I got to go see it, and they've enjoyed it. So it's like, just go see it. You're not special. Go see it.
I mean, please. That's all. Scorsese, go ahead and direct that new Howard the Duck movie. We need you.
Bruh.
Go ahead and do that. It's perfect for you. Trust me. All right. Well, I'm ready to go. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. All right. Well, you already know I am Anton with my co-host Tay Day, looking for a payday. Okay. And we are simply marvelous. Check us out next time, please.